The recent episode of Stephen Colbert's late-night show turned unexpectedly dramatic when Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, found himself being asked to leave the set following what insiders have called a fiery and deeply personal clash. It all started harmlessly enough, with Colbert welcoming Harry in his usual warm, humorous style, cracking a few lighthearted jokes about royalty, British tea, and Harry's surprising casual wardrobe. But the tone quickly shifted when Colbert mentioned Harry's explosive memoir and ongoing tensions with the royal family. What was meant as playful prodding immediately struck a nerve as Harry's polite smile faded into something noticeably sharper. Colbert, sensing the tension, but perhaps misjudging Harry's mood, pressed on, asking if stepping away from royal duties meant freedom or exile. This seemingly simple question brought an awkward pause that lingered too long, forcing the audience into uneasy laughter. Harry then firmly responded that Americans don't understand the weight of royal life, a comment that caught even Colbert off guard, trying to steer things back to lighthearted territory. Colbert chuckled and teased, "Well, at least you don't have to wear a crown anymore, right?" But that only made things worse. Harry immediately shot back, saying, "You think it's a joke, but that crown cost me my family, my privacy, and my peace." The studio audience went silent, feeling the tension thicken. Colbert, a seasoned host who's danced through dozens of awkward interviews, tried to laugh it off but was clearly rattled. He quipped something about first world royal problems, which Harry visibly didn't appreciate. Sitting forward in his seat, the Duke firmly reminded Stephen that his life was never a sitcom for American entertainment, and that the mental health struggles he faced, along with the toll on his marriage to Meghan Markle, were not punchlines. The audience began shifting in their seats, sensing this was no longer an ordinary celebrity interview, but something far more personal and intense unraveling live. Matters took a sharp turn when Colbert mentioned the infamous Oprah interview, and implied that Harry might have exaggerated certain claims to gain sympathy and sell books. This triggered an immediate and passionate response from Harry, who accused Colbert of trivializing the trauma he and Meghan endured. Harry said, "You sit behind that desk and make jokes, but my wife cried every night, fearing for our safety and sanity." The energy in the room shifted dramatically, with murmurs from the audience and side glances exchanged by the show's crew. Colbert, sensing he might have poked too deeply, tried to pull back by complimenting Harry's charity work and military service, but the damage was done. Harry refused to let the subject change, passionately defending his right to speak about his experiences and condemning the media circus that followed him across the Atlantic. His voice grew stronger, steadier, and angrier, a side of him rarely seen on American television. Feeling the interview spiraling out of control, Colbert attempted to regain composure and lightness by joking about Harry's role as a Netflix producer, suggesting tongue-in-cheek that maybe Harry's real future was in Hollywood, not history. But Harry didn't laugh. Instead, he slammed the table gently and declared, "I'm not here to play celebrity. I'm here because the truth matters more than appearances." The studio audience gasped. Colbert sighed, glancing toward his producers, off camera, clearly looking for an emergency out. But Harry continued, pointing out that Americans consume royal gossip as entertainment without understanding the real cost paid by those living inside the gilded cage. His words cut through the room like a blade. No laughter, no applause, only the hum of tension rising. Backstage staff began moving nervously, sensing that something historic and very awkward was unfolding live. What truly shocked everyone was what happened next. Colbert, growing visibly frustrated, leaned in and sharply told Harry, "If you wanted therapy, you should have booked a session, not my show." The audience gasped audibly at this pointed jab. Harry stood up suddenly, removing his microphone, and stared down at Colbert with eyes that burned with fury. "This is why I left Britain," Harry muttered, "to escape people who think pain is a joke." Colbert, caught off guard by Harry's intensity, responded bluntly, "If you can't take a question, maybe you shouldn't be here." The air froze as the two men locked eyes, their polite masks fully dropped. It was no longer a host and guest, it was two strong personalities clashing head-on in front of millions. For a moment, it felt like neither would back down. But then Colbert made the decisive move that shocked everyone. he gestured toward his crew and quietly said, "Get him off my set." Asterisk, for a stunned few seconds, Harry just stood there in disbelief. The Prince of England kicked off an American late-night stage. No one could have predicted such a spectacle. Some in the crowd booed, others gasped, a handful even cheered nervously. Unsure how to react to this TV history moment, security approached gently, but Harry waved them away, declaring no need. "I know, and I'm not welcome." He turned to the camera and said, "To everyone watching, ever let the media make you feel small for telling your truth?" Then, without waiting for further drama, he calmly walked off set, leaving Colbert sitting awkwardly at his desk, fidgeting with his notes and trying to regain composure. The camera cut to black moments later, getting the most controversial and explosive interview Stephen Colbert has hosted in his career. Social media exploded within seconds, with hashtags like hashtag Harry vs. Colbert and hashtag Royal Meltdown flooding Twitter and Instagram. Asterisk, backstage chaos erupted immediately after the cameras stopped rolling. Producers argued over how they let the interview fall apart. Assistants frantically made calls to PR teams. And Colbert reportedly shouted about how this is why royals shouldn't be booked without tighter scripts. Harry, meanwhile, was seen walking calmly but firmly down the corridor, refusing offers for private cars or exit escorts. Eyewitnesses reported that Meghan Markle, waiting backstage, embraced him quietly before they left the building without speaking to the press. The show's staff, stunned and shaken, began whispering about whether the entire episode could even be aired. Networks debated if the footage should be edited or shown in full, knowing the controversy could either ruin reputations or skyrocket ratings. Hollywood insiders immediately began speculating how this clash would affect Harry's Netflix and Spotify deals, while British tabloids prepared their next morning's front pages for what would be the royal story of the year. Asterisk. As the world woke up to the news, reactions were split. Supporters of Harry praised his courage to stand against what they saw as American media arrogance, while critics claimed he proved once again he couldn't handle tough questions without breaking down. Journalists, commentators, and even celebrities weighed in on the spectacle. Piers Morgan tweeted mockingly about Harry's royal tantrum, while other public figures like Oprah and Ellen defended Harry's right to protect his personal story. Late-night comedians joked about the feud, wondering aloud if Colbert and Harry would ever patch things up. CNN and BBC ran serious panels analyzing what this meant for the royal brand abroad. The palace, maintaining its usual silence, refused to comment, but insiders hinted that King Charles was not surprised by Harry's behavior. The divide between supporters and detractors grew wider, turning this single television clash into an international debate about freedom, media, and personal dignity. Asterisk, amidst the noise, Stephen Colbert released a carefully crafted statement the following day, expressing regret that the interview took an unexpectedly personal turn, but standing by his right to ask the questions audiences wonder about. Harry's camp responded with a brief note stating that the Duke will not apologize for defending his truth, especially in the face of mockery. This exchange of statements did little to calm the online storm. Fans, commentators, and media outlets continued to dissect every moment of the clash. Harry's angry stare, Colbert's sarcastic smirk, the silence of the audience as if decoding clues to a larger story. Even scholars and royal historians weighed in, suggesting that this might mark a new low in the relationship between British royalty and American media. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Netflix insiders whispered that Harry's future documentaries may now lean even harder into themes of betrayal and media manipulation, using this fresh controversy as fuel. Asterisk, one thing is clear. This shocking confrontation has changed both men's public images forever. For Harry, it reaffirmed his image as a wounded but defiant outsider, someone willing to walk away rather than be mocked or belittled, even if it meant global embarrassment. For Colbert, it risked making him appear cruel or reckless, a host who pushed too far for the sake of late-night ratings. Both have gained and lost fans in the fallout, and the entertainment industry is already shifting to handle the ripples. Future royal guests may demand stricter interview guidelines. Late-night shows might think twice before booking. Unpredictable figures like Harry, what began as a routine talk show appearance, became a defining moment in modern media history, proof that even in the age of polished PR, real emotions can break through the screen and set the world on fire. As millions continue to watch and re-watch that unforgettable night, one question lingers. Who truly won this battle of words and wills on Stephen Colbert's stage?